Good morning, ma'am. Prabhakiran, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Yeah, ma'am, we shall start at 10:30, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure, no problem.
Charan? Charan, please mute your microphone, no?
I'm muted, right?
Hello. Ma'am, shall we start, ma'am? Sir? Vijay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we start, sir? Sir, shall we start? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am can share the screen, ma'am.
Yeah. Prabha ma'am? Prabha Kiran ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Shall we start ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. We can. We can start.
Yeah ma'am. You can share the screen ma'am.
Okay,
So
fine.
before we
Thank you.
start, let me introduce ma'am. A pleasant morning to all. I, Dr. Rupa Temkavi, Associate Professor, Department of MBA, extend a warm welcome to all to 5 days workshop on applications of analytics in business, organized by Department of MBA SCBIT. Before we start, I seek the blessings of Puja Swamijis and with due respect to our principal, I extend a warm welcome to our HOD, Dr. Mamata J. I welcome you, ma'am. And I feel extremely honored to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Prabha Kiran. She is an academician by choice and researcher by heart. She has worked extensively on government-funded projects in the area of digital marketing and food technology. She has been conferred with Young Scientist Award in 2017 by leading publication house in Chennai and Best Professor in Market Research in 2018 by a leading business school in Hyderabad. She is a Board of Studies member for various universities and served as session chair for national and international conferences. She has conducted various workshops in the area of social science research, digital marketing, and business analytics. Her quest for intellectual and academic learning with a strong research bent of mind has received prominence in the institute served, and she is promoting management students to take up research. She has embarked on a very motivating path to instill the research bent of mind in generating many research papers from them. I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And good morning to everybody present here.
Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. So, am I audible to everybody? If you can quickly type a yes in the chat box, that would be really helpful
Yes, ma'am.
to all the students. I want to know if they are awake. So, being available is one thing, and being awake is one thing. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you so much to SJBIT College for inviting me for this wonderful session. I'm sure all of you have been having an interesting session all these days, starting from Monday. So today, my session is completely going to be more of a interaction basis because when we talk about analytics in business, so there are a lot of things that go on about discussing what is analytics and how analytics has changed the way people look at businesses, the way people actually approach businesses. So a lot of things have changed. So my today's session will completely be more of an interaction mode. I request the students to be ready with their mobile phones because you may have to answer some questions in between. Okay, so just a head go to what you may be expecting in the future slides. So let's start off quickly in terms of understanding what is analytics and how it is applicable in businesses. Okay, so let's get started, guys. All of you have seen about how and when the data analytics has changed the way people are collecting information, the way people are interacting with machine, interacting with humans, interacting with other people around them has completely changed. When we were say sort of around 10 years down the line, before 10 years, people not were not much aware of these, the impact of data or how the data has changed people's lives. But today we see that a lot of people are getting infected or getting affected, if I may say, by data. How many of you have uh, not touched your phone the moment you get up from your bed? Okay, that's the first thing which you do, right? So the new concept, you must have heard this statement: data is the new oil. I would request some of you to tell me, is it so? Do you think data is the new oil? What about the students in the audience? What do you feel about it? Do you think data is the new oil? Have you heard of this statement, first of all? Data is the new oil. So data is the new oil is a very, the statement has been spoken a lot, has been told a lot, but the question is it so? Oil is as a reservoir is getting over. But if you see, as long as humans are there on this earth, we will be creating data, right? So now I say that data is a new oil. This concept is completely wrong, because this data will not get over. But oil, when we see, it is getting over. Okay, it is a non-renewable resource, right? But data is a completely continuously generating resource. So as long as we are there, definitely this statement for me doesn't hold good. I hope if you agree with me, you can type a yes, or if you don't, you can type a no as well. But that's what is my assumption and my critique on this particular statement. Okay. Now, moving ahead, most of us have thought about data, how data is, what is data, and how data can be managed. So, if you see today in the context of how data is being generated, there are multiple types of data. The way it comes into from different sources, from different places, platforms. If you see, so the initial figure that you see, the first figure is what the data you generate, right? And the job of a data analyst or a data scientist that we call is nothing but to do this, the later on stages, wherein you have to sort the data, arrange the data, and present the data visually. Okay, this is what the whole idea of data analysis in crux, in nutshell, can be thought about. So the data what you produce has to be sorted, has to be arranged, and has to be presented visually. And that is very, very important for any data scientist or people who are aspiring to be in that particular field. Now, let me get a quick answer from the class or from the session. What do you think about this word called business analytics? So you can join in using this QR code, or you can join in at slido.com. And I request you all to please quickly answer this. I can see if you are able to see this particular screen, you can quickly scan the QR code and let me know what is your thought towards this particular concept of business analytics. What do you feel? I'll wait for some time for you to answer. I request you all to please answer. You can log into this website, slido.com, or you can scan this QR code. Can we see some answers quickly from the session attendees? There are almost 50 participants, as I can see.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
In Zoom, we have 50, ma'am. Parallelly, it has been streamed in YouTube also. There
Okay.
again, we have around 60, ma'am.
Okay, fine, perfect. Then we can, and I'm expecting some answers for this so that we can head start the session. I'm not sure if students are able to join in or log into this. It's very simple. You can scan this QR code or join through the slido.com. You'll be able to, answer for this question.
Guys, please scan the QR code, no?
If you have any issues
Yes,
in
students.
scanning, you can just quickly let me know.
Can you scan or what? You have to reply.
That's a common. Okay.
Hello, please reply to Madam Preeti.
Can I have few answers at least, if you're able to understand? So we are having a session on business analytics, right? I'm not sure if the students are able to understand or able to follow the instructions clearly. Guys, you can join on to this slido.com, or you can scan this QR code which is given over there to answer the question.
What do you do? What do you want to do? Pooja? Anusha?
Ma'am, I don't think we can scan QR code on the same phone, ma'am.
Yeah, then you can join, no? At least you have to reply, right?
You can go to this slido.com, enter this hash code, and you will get the question. Like students are answering already. Okay. You can join at slido.com, put the code as #36497, and I'm sure you will be able to see a lot of So what we are doing now is we are actually generating data. If you see, students, 3 of you have already responded, and we are actually generating data. So what you just did, what you are just doing is nothing but generating data. Okay, so I'll just wait for another 1 minute max so that we can get few more answers, few more responses. Okay, I am getting some answers. Thank you so much for those who have responded. Okay, so if you see, predominantly we are heading into a discussion wherein you understand data analytics or business analytics for data or using data is nothing but which is for decision making. Or you can use it for, there some of you are calling it as technical skill, some of you are calling it for skills, technology, and things like that. Okay, now business analytics is definitely about decision making. Yes, I got an interesting answer of visualization. Thank you so much. That actually is one of the aspect of understanding the data using visuals. Yes, it is. Okay, so thank you so much for those who have responded. So this is nothing but what we just created is a word cloud of the attendees who have responded for the question. Okay, now this is how you create data in the cloud, and this is how, based on your understanding, I am able to get that, okay, this is what you feel about business analytics and this is how you understand business analytics. But guys, business analytics is much, much more than that. Okay, it is not just, so decision making is the last aspect of it, but how do we arrive at, or how do we reach up to that particular decision making aspect? Analyzing business using the data, yes. So those are the few things which, thank you so much for all of you to respond. Let's move ahead. Okay, how do I define business analytics? Okay, basically, as you all rightly said, it is ultimately leading to decision making. But to arrive at that decision making, what do I do? How do I go and arrive at that particular last stage of decision making? So I start doing what I have to do in terms of analyzing that particular data that I collect. So collating the data, sorting the data, processing the data using various tools available, and then I study these to arrive at those statistical methodologies. Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you are
Yes,
audible.
ma'am, audible.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. So, and then we study these data to arrive at certain methodologies which will help us take some decisions. Okay, and ultimately what happens? Why are we doing this? We are doing this predominantly to make sure that the organization's problems are kind of sorted. Because ultimately, why do I want to do analytics? Why do a business want to do analytics? Because I have identified certain problems in my areas, in my business, in my operations, and I want to solve it more efficiently by doing and undergoing these processes of data analytics. Okay, right. Now, there are two words, business intelligence and business analytics, often being confused with. Business intelligence and business analytics. I'm sure, I mean, you must have heard about this term called business intelligence and business analytics. In most of the places, these are interchangeably or synonymously used. Okay, but we have to understand that these two are extremely different from each other. They are not one and the same, and they have to be dealt with very carefully. When I say business intelligence is purely depending upon from different sources that we collect data for, and then how are we using them to create some intelligent systems within our processes. Okay, whereas the business analytics is completely driven by those decisions or driven by those data that you get it from the business intelligence. Okay, so basically intelligence is collecting the data, okay, gathering the data from different sources, and analytics is using that data which you gather from business intelligence process to make decisions. So guys, do not get confused and do not get don't use these two terms interchangeably, because that's not how it is. Okay, this is a simple triangle which tells us the difference between the business analytics and the application of business analytics, and where all we can apply business intelligence. If you see, analytics is predominantly on the top version of your organization, right? Basically, in terms of identifying the vision, mission statement, identifying where the business wants to go, how the business wants to achieve various, or where the business basically wants to go. If you see, I have also given clearly in terms of analytics what it does. Analytics basically tries to understand what will happen, what if and why kind of a systems. Then we also have various predictive modelings which can be used. You have simulations, you have advanced statistical tools which can be used, and then you have the data mining and data science which is used in this particular system. And predominantly it is on the higher version of the triangle, on the higher attitude of the triangle. That is wherein the mission vision part of the businesses are aligned. Talking about the business intelligence. Business intelligence, as we saw before in the previous slide, it is basically about data gathering from various sources. Now, who will gather the data for you? How will you get the data? What will happen if the data doesn't come to you properly? And then arriving at the best possible data to make sure that decisions are taken properly. So all those things are done at the business intelligence level. And that's where we talk about who did the task, as in who has collected the data, what happened, why the data is like this. You must have seen a lot of dashboards and alert messages coming in, right? So those are nothing but they are part of business intelligence. The scorecards monitoring, slicing and dicing of the data. You know about the drilling, right? So you have to drill down the data as much as possible so that you can create the best possible data which can be used for decision making. All right. And where do you get the data exactly from? You have the digital platforms, which is, if you see the pyramid, it is in the last bottom corner. You have the digital platforms and you have the cloud systems, you have the security systems. All these are actually the places where you can get your data collected from, different sources that we call about the data being collected from. Okay. Yeah. Another slide, which again gives you a clear indication of how business intelligence is different from business intelligence and business analytics. Okay, so creating intelligence and business values. So ultimately, both my BI and BA is helping me to create business values, right? Create value for my business, and how I can do it on different perspectives. It is so business analytics is generally used for statistical analysis, forecasting, predictive modeling, which we'll be seeing tomorrow, and optimizations. Whereas in terms of intelligence, we have in terms of alerts, in terms of queries, in terms of reports that are being generated, you have those MIS reports and things like that. Okay, and then you have the standard reports, that generally businesses prepare. Okay. Okay, again, a small question for all of you. Have a look at this particular screen. There are two figures in the screen, figure 1 and figure 2. Okay, there are two figures. Please have a look at these two figures carefully, because you will have to answer the question again. And I request people to quickly answer, because you have only 30 seconds for answering. Okay, have a look at the screen carefully, and then I will go to the next slide. Okay, so let me go ahead. Okay, so please join the quiz again using this particular code. You can just put in some random name to join the quiz. I request you can put your register numbers or some email ID or whatever you can associate yourself with. Okay. So, okay, we have one person joined in, right? We'll see quickly if you can join. Well, I'll give you like some half a minute to join quickly. If we can have few more people, that would be really helpful. Okay, thank you so much. Yes. Okay, so we have around 9 participants. I would go ahead. Okay, are we still people are joining? Okay. Right. Now, please answer, choose the right option. Which one do you think was the right option for business analytics? Was it figure 1 or was it figure 2? If you remember the figures, you can answer the question. Those who have joined in, please answer the question. Last 10 minutes, last 10 seconds, sorry. Okay, and the time is up. Yeah, so let's see what is the answer. Most of you have chosen figure 2. Okay, around for 55% of students have chosen figure 2. But let us see what is the right answer. Actually, figure 1 was the right answer. Okay, so business analytics is not figure 2, but figure 1. I would go back to that particular slide and show you once again what we actually did. Have a look at this once again, figure 2 and figure 1. As I told, the dashboards and the data collections are all part of business intelligence. Okay, and the analysis and the decision making and other things are nothing but a part of business analytics. So figure 1 is business analytics, representing business analytics, but figure 2 is representing business intelligence. Okay, so that's where most of the time all of us go wrong. We don't end up interpreting it correctly, and that's where the problem comes in. So I hope this is clear with all of you in terms of what is business analytics and what is business intelligence. Okay, so thank you so much for participating in this. And I hope it is clear for you. Let us see the leaderboard. I think leaderboard is clearly indicating that Geeta is ranked 1, followed by the people who have answered it. Okay, so the quickly you answer, the quickly you follow the leaderboard. So congratulations, Geeta, on answering it correctly and on time. Okay, now let's continue and understand different types of analytics. So I'm sure we are now drilling deep into the understanding of business analytics. Okay, now analytics, there are various types of analytics. Okay, the first one which we are discussing over here is called as descriptive or diagnostic analytics. Now, what is descriptive or diagnostic analysis? In simple terms, whenever you are trying to answer a question for a business, which talks about what happened in a business, okay, then it takes a form of diagnostic or a descriptive analytics. So whenever you're trying to understand, for example, recently we had elections happening. Okay, we had elections in Bihar happening, right? Now, if you want to answer and if you want to analyze the data which you receive and try to understand why did a particular party fail? Why did a particular party did not do well? Now, those analytics will come into the form of descriptive or diagnostic. Whenever you're analyzing a question in terms of trying to understand what is happening in a particular scenario, in a particular situation, that's where you'll come into the context of descriptive or diagnostic analysis. Okay, for example, and when you're analyzing those things, you will actually come across reports like you will prepare dashboards, you will prepare your MIS reports, and you will prepare some simple Google forms. You have those pivot tables using Excels. So all those can be a part of a diagnostic or a descriptive analytics. Okay. Next comes into the predictive analytics. Okay, the predictive analytics is again a very different kind of analytics. What is likely to happen in future? Okay, so presently, so most of the time, the forecasting methodologies that are used in the organizations, they generally follow the category of predictive analytics. Will the COVID vaccine be released? When will the COVID vaccine be formulated? When will normal citizens of India receive the COVID vaccines? This is the major question going on, right? How will the coronavirus reduce in future? So when I'm forecasting these kind of things, I'm going to use predictive analytics. Okay, how will a particular movie perform, right? How is, when are the colleges going to reopen? I don't know. So I keep getting that question very frequently, ma'am, when are we reopening and when are we coming back to class and joining the class? So those can be a part of predictive analytics. Students can start gathering the data if the corona cases are coming down, if the government gives us certain leverage in terms of understanding whether the cases are good and whether we can manage the crowd at our premises. Can we allow them then in? So those are the part of predictive analytics. Okay, what is likely to happen in future? Again, it should be completely based on the data you gather. Okay, don't just blindly take some decisions. Again, it will fall flat, right? So that is predictive analytics. Last one is your prescriptive analytics. Now, prescriptive is nothing but a combination of the other two that we saw, that is descriptive and the last one in terms of predictive. Okay, this is nothing but so what and now what. So I know this happened. Now what should I do? Okay, coronavirus is in the market. People are getting affected by it. What do I do now? How can I take actions? It is more in terms of actionable research. It is more in terms of taking actions based on the information available. How can I make sure the hospitals are arranged in place? How can I make sure that the COVID tests are being done properly on all the people? How can I make sure that people are getting enough number of beds in the hospital? How can I make sure that medicines are available in abundance in the medical store? How can I make sure that essential items are there in the shops so that people can buy? Now, these are the prescriptive analytics results. Okay, so you should know, okay, this happened. So what do I do now? How can I make sure that things are still in place? What kind of actions should I take in terms of improving my businesses? You must have seen there are a lot of companies who got into certain type of businesses which they were never into. Okay, for example, Zavami, a company like Zavami producing masks. They were never into a mask business, but they were the first ones to quickly take a prescriptive action against, because the sales were going down, people are not buying certain products. So what they went ahead, okay, let's prepare masks because that's what is in demand now. So they have quickly taken a decision in terms of creating a platform wherein people can buy masks. I think on Zibami platform, the masks were available by March, April. I remember very clearly. Likewise, many other companies got into that. Okay. Many companies got into sanitizers business. They were never into those businesses. PPE kits. Many companies got into those kind of businesses. Now, those were as a result of prescriptive analytics only. Okay. People have improved their supply chains in order to make sure that the end-to-end requirement of essentials were properly met during the lockdown state. So now these are the few things which companies have taken up, right? Even your college, I'm sure they must have started the online classes using the online platform. It's a prescriptive analytics based on what, okay, what platform to go on, what kind of how to approach students, and those are the prescriptive analytics methods that they must have used to make sure that the company is able to reach out to the customers in a well and the most correct possible way. All right. This is about prescriptive analytics. So three types of analytics: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. All right. Now, consider this. Okay. In terms of the recent report that was published in Harvard Business Review, they say that data scientist, okay, is going to be the sexiest job of 21st century. But is it so easy? Okay, what do a data scientist do? What is the role of a data scientist? You will find today in India, you will find many people calling themselves data scientists. Okay, but are they the true data scientists in real terms? It's a high profile job. It's an extremely important job because a lot of companies may term your decisions, their decisions on your analysis, whatever you're doing for them. Okay, so what do the data scientists do for the organizations? Okay, the first thing that they do is they understand and try to analyze the lifestyles of the people. How are people spending? You must have seen a lot of in the recent times, many people have come out with the data saying that okay, in the lockdown people were having a lot of time, so they are watching a lot of OTT platforms like Netflix, Hotstar. the viewership of these platforms have increased. Okay, now if it has increased, what should the companies do? You must have seen of late Netflix releasing so many movies on their platforms. Similarly, Hotstar, similarly for Amazon. Now, these are the platforms which are being viewed mostly by the people. Now, companies are also trying to make sure that the customers are getting engaged and they are releasing a lot of things on these platforms, right? So now the spending patterns, where is the customer spending? These can be analyzed by these analysis. Okay, likes and dislikes. A simple post on any of the social media platform, what happens there? You will get some likes, dislikes, views. People will share, comment. Okay, certain things become meme and they become popular. Okay, trolling happens. Now all these are part of nothing but the analytics of the data. You are the one who is creating data for them, for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right? Now what happens because of these data? The companies can gather these data, and then they can go ahead and develop their strategy. How many of you have noticed that when you start looking at a particular video in YouTube, a similar recommendation starts coming up? Okay, my suggestion, I don't know how many of you have seen this Netflix. There is a documentary on Netflix on the social dilemma. Okay, you must go and watch that documentary. It's on Netflix, The Social Dilemma. You will understand the business behind creating these data. You will understand how the companies can use these data to benefit or to take some decisions on specific individuals. Okay, it is becoming really personalized. The offerings are getting really personalized, and that's where the companies are getting more and more closer to you. Now, I would like to give you an example. For example, I mean, there was one extremely interesting case some 2 3 years back, which spoke about there's a father whose daughter is studying in high school. I'm not sure if you have heard this case, but it is a very, very famous case in the data scientists, things. So there was a father who had a daughter studying in high school, and all of a sudden, the father starts getting, I mean, to their home, they're getting some coupons talking about the baby kits, the baby care products, and the Huggies, and those baby oils and things like that. Okay. Now, the father got really I mean, anybody would get angry, obviously. So the father got very angry and he called up the particular e-commerce website and he literally shouted at them that, what the hell are you thinking? Okay, my daughter is in high school and you're sending these kind of things to me. Are you gone mad or what? So the company has actually gathered the data from the searches done by his daughter, and they understood later on, it came to know that the daughter was pregnant. Okay, so the company or that particular e-commerce company knew beforehand what is going to happen. Now this is the bad effect or the too much of intervening into the lives of the customers. Okay, father did not know about it, but the company knew about it. It's purely because the particular girl was searching about certain things, okay, on the particular platform. Now this is a classic case being discussed often in the circles of the data analysis. Okay, and that's where we have to be very careful what kind of data or what kind of, we call the term digital footprints, what kind of digital footprints you are leaving on these different various platforms. I know it is scary. It does look a little bit scary in terms of trying to understand that, am I being observed so carefully? I don't even know. Most of us are on Facebook or Insta or any other social media site for a long, long time, or almost the whole day. WhatsApp, for that matter, we are there for the whole day. Okay. Now, are we careful enough to understand what kind of digital footprints we are leaving? Are we careful enough to understand how are we interacting in these platforms? Are we careful enough to understand what kind of people I'm interacting with? Now, that's where the concept of that's a different part of the data analysis, but let's not go into that detail. But this is how the data and this is how the analysis can lead to certain companies to intervene into our daily lives. Let's get into a specific topic of the day, that is area of applications, where all it can be applied. Guys, data analytics or business analytics is there in every field. Okay, you talk about marketing, you talk about construction, you talk about smart cities, for that matter, you talk about health, retail, logistics, finance, operations, you name it and you have it. You name it and you have it. So applications are humongous. Applications are huge. It's only the time of how well you can make sense of the data. So as we saw initial slides, you have the data available, but can you make sense of that particular data? Okay, is it possible? There are a lot of tools again available. N number of tools are there to analyze those data. You have Python, you have specific non-coded, you have R, you have SPSS, uh, you have Azure, you have a lot of IoT platforms wherein you can actually use these data to analyze your decisions. Okay, so we'll go in detail one by one. Now, I'm just giving you simple case-wise analysis in terms of how different areas you have the analytics being used. So basically for customer targeting, again, as we rightly said that, people or the businesses can actually understand what is the requirement of a particular customer. They can actually target you in a very, very close way in terms of what you are viewing, how you want to buy, what you want to buy. Okay, so customer targeting is very, very easy using the analytics. Churn prevention is nothing but how well you can make sure that the customer stays with you. When Geo came into market, okay, when the Geo came into market, a lot of people left their existing plans and they moved to Geo. That's called churn. So a lot of Airtel had a churn, Vodafone had a churn. Customers left that particular platform and they went on to Jio because they were giving a better offer. So how can the companies prevent this churn of the customers? Okay, then it talks about the sales forecasting, quality improvement. We will see in detail about all these things, risk assessment and financial modeling. Okay, so just giving you a simple example how customer targeting is done in simple terms, understanding the demographic factors. We all know, okay, on Facebook or Instagram or any other place, lot of information is available. How frequently you're using, how much you're using, what is your age, what is your name, your education qualification, what are you wearing, what are you doing, where are you roaming. All these things are actually available, right? Then for example, even the institutions like bank, okay, if I have to target a campaign for a particular set of people, okay, lot of banks came up with their COVID plans for the customers. Okay, now COVID plans, special plans for COVID, insurance plans or any other assistant plans. So whether the customers, so how did they do that? They understood that there is a requirement in the market, and they also understand what kind of a plan they have to make so that it will be easier for them to reach out to them. So that's where the customer targeting is useful for the businesses. Okay, again we discuss about churn prevention. Make sure that I'm able to cater to a particular a specific customer's requirement. Okay, so based on the requirement of, if you see Airtel or Vodafone or any other organizations nowadays, they're actually having specific plans for specific people. Depending upon your use, you can plan your whatever kind of plans you want from these organizations. So depending upon use, depending upon frequency, depending upon how much you want to talk, how much you want to use data, all those are possible. And why are companies doing that? Because they want to do this churn preventions. And how can they do that? They can actually, again, depending upon the services you want, depending upon how much frequently you use, depending upon what season you are using in, so those things can be planned by these companies accordingly. Likewise, for sales forecasting, one of the classic examples of sales forecasting is in terms of understanding which product to sell when. Okay, now you have a lot of online sales going on right now. You have the festival sale, like Amazon and Flipkart keeps coming up with multiple sales. Or you have the big billion sale, or you have the Amazon Great India Festival going on right now. So how these things come? Companies are able to predict their demand so accurately, so perfectly, because of the information that they receive. Okay, and then they can plan accordingly what kind of supply chain to follow. Have you ever, I'm not sure how many of you have experienced, Amazon has a 1-day delivery offer. Within 1 day, the turnaround time from your time to order, from the time you receive the product, 1 day. Imagine how much of a science must have gone in to make sure to give you the most preferred, the most closest possible retailer who can deliver the product to you on time. Okay, so that's completely on analytics or the sales forecasting methods that they use it to understand the customer's requirement. Okay, coming to the next one, quality improvement. Again, quality improvement, again, when you take about the psychological tests, okay, you have some specific preferences of the customers. Customers want a particular mobile phone having certain features. Okay, they are looking for a particular kind of a product in the market. Okay, a specific smell is required by a specific person, some specific component is, by doing all this, what they do, they're trying to increase the value of the value of the product, because that's being demanded by the customer. Okay, and then selling those products to them, right? Risk assessment, very again, risk assessment mostly, if I see, done by the financial terms or the financial organizations, wherein they try to assess the risk of a particular, for example, loan defaulter. Okay, whether a particular person will be a loan defaulter or not. Okay, how much well he will be able to bill statements, for example, can a customer give a bill, postpaid bills or a credit card bills? So those details are easily available to the banks, and they're easily available to the from the customers, and they can actually assess based on these parameters, will there be, how much risk can I take, can I give him this kind of a, so before all of you, I don't know how many of you have tried out, but even before you want to get a loan, lot of verifications are done. That's nothing but the risk assessment that they do. Can this person be will he be able to pay that particular amount that he's taking loan from? Will he be the defaulter? How much, what is the percentage that he will become a loan defaulter? Okay, will he be able to repay the credit card bills? Now these are the few things which customers are able, I mean, the banks are able to tell about a customer based on the available information with them. Okay, based on the past payments, you have seen about the credit card score. Okay, the score of your credit score or something like that, the CIBIL score they talk about, right? Whether, now those are the scores which are nothing but indication of a way a customer is behaving. Okay, again, if I'm producing a particular product, will it be bought by the customer? Okay, will the customer be willing to buy these kind of products? Now those are all a part of nothing but risk assessment when an organization wants to do based on the available data. Okay, financial modelings, definitely a lot of predictive modelings are available in the market, especially in the stock market, understanding the trend of the stock market, how is the stock market behaving, what shares to buy, what shares to sell, who will give me a better returns. Okay, so all these aspects can be measured using the financial modeling techniques. There are a lot of models available which can be utilized. You have eView as a software which can be used for creating these financial modelings. Okay, and you can prepare those models which will help you assess, okay, how will the particular stock behave. You can actually go to an extent of predicting individual stocks. Okay, again, it's a predictive modeling, so you're predicting whether it will be in the right decision or a wrong decision to invest. That's again depends on the market. Okay, but then you can actually have a clear cut indication as a forecasted predictive models to see whether your decisions or the firm's decisions are in the right direction or not. Okay, as we were discussing, a lot of other industry applications are there in terms of credit card companies, customer relationship management, to understand. I'm sure you must have heard about this concept of customer lifetime value, CLTV. Now CLTV is a concept where highly used in the CRM techniques, wherein so it is understood that whenever a customer is with a particular organization, loyal to the organization for a longer period of time, the value of customer increases. Correct? Now, the companies want to have those kind of customers because it will give them a repeat purchase options. Okay, you go and again buy from the same company products. Okay, having a loyal customer is always the best option. In today's world, we don't have that. Wherever customers are also become smart, wherever we have a better option, we move on. So how will the companies be able to retain the customers to themselves? Okay, so those retainment options, the special packages that are given for the customers so that they will stay with them for a longer period of time is what the CRM or the CLTV will help me analyze. Okay. Again, for finance, as we discussed, a lot of corporations, they want to budgeting, financial planning, forecasting, portfolio management. So there are multiple applications, if you see, in terms of finance, to get insights for the organizations and make sure that they're in a better place to take decision. Of late, we are seeing a lot of insights of analytics in human resource. So human resource was one such area which generally we people thought that, oh, okay, it's the HR's job. What will analytics do in that? But HR analytics, guys, is coming big way. HR analytics is really coming in huge, because companies are now in a position to understand individual employees, how they're performing. So all that has gone in the analytics way, in terms of their performance, in terms of their attritions, in terms of their how long will he stay in my organization, in terms of understanding whether he is the best fit to my organization or not. Now those, at that level it has gone into, in even in terms of analyzing the handwriting of a employee who is actually applying for my job. Is he capable of taking this job or not? In fact, if you see, initial data or the initial screening is nowadays done by AI based pods, right? Have you heard of this AI based pods doing the initial screening of the people who are applying for the jobs, right? So in that case, what happens is the HR analytics is coming big way. The AI is actually helping analytics to fuse in properly with the human resources, which was not much in past. But of late, we are seeing a lot of companies getting into these kind of AI based recruitment for HR resources. Okay. Again, talking about manufacturing, you must have seen about the industry 4.0, okay, wherein all the automations or the AI based automations are actually helping the companies to streamline their inventories, make their inventory management more crisp, more having less bottlenecks, making sure that they're able to create maximum efficiencies in terms of delivering certain end-to-end products. And definitely marketing, for analyzing a marketing campaign, analyzing what kind of things the customer requires, and identifying his behavior in terms of what he likes, what he doesn't like, the market trends, where is the market going, and how I can make use of this particular concept. So in marketing, I handle a subject in my college, in my university, which is about marketing metric. Now, marketing metric is completely understanding various paradigms of matrices. Okay, talk about the share market, talk about the brand indexes, talk about the heavy user indexes, talk about the brand category index. Okay, talk about the specific products, talk about pricing of a particular product. How should I price my product? What should be the pricing of the product be? All these actually can be helpful when I use analytics in my domain. Also, in terms of what kind of a SKU to give. Okay, is it a 1 liter package good, or I should make it a half, or I should make smaller pouches of it? So all those things can actually be the decisions which I have to take in an organizations. In those terms, can actually be analyzed using the marketing analytics part of it. Okay. And in the end, I have a small slide for you to just put forward, and whatever we read so far, it gives you a kind of a crux of whatever we have been doing. A lot of work is still to be done in terms of security. India right now is not having a proper secured platform in terms of cyber security, in terms of fraud analysis. We need a proper plan for these areas, which I'm sure is definitely need of the hour, because so much of data is being circulated. Okay, if there is no proper planning for making sure that we have a good infrastructure to make sure that these datas are being secure, I think we will lag behind. So as a digital marketing expert, as a business analytics expert, I would request, from this particular platform, that let us all together create a secure platform, a good platform, and make sure that these platforms will help businesses in a more better way. Okay, so on this note, on this particular slide, I would like to sign off. And if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, you can raise in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask. I hope the session was I hope it was helpful for all of you. Thank you so much.
Dear participants, if you have any queries, please post it in chat box, or you can ask also.
Yeah, first of all, let me ask if the session was useful. Were you able to get something from the session? If it wasn't useful, then I think my last 45 minutes or 1 hour of talk was a complete waste of time for you as well as for organizers. I don't want that to happen. So I'm sure it was useful for all of you.
You have any questions, students?
A very good morning. This is Prema.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Really, it was a really a
She
sweet
was,
and a vibe.
yeah, ma'am, Prema ma'am, just a minute. Prabhakiran ma'am, she
Yes,
was our speaker for initial 2 days, ma'am, on
Oh,
Monday
okay,
and Tuesday.
okay. Great, ma'am. Thank you. I was thinking some student is talking. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. Not an issue. I'm also still a student today's session.
Okay.
Actually, ma'am, it's really a very vibrant and sweet session. I just got a lot of energy from your session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Really, it was a useful and insightful one. The question which I like to pose to you is that,
Yep.
ma'am, when you are talking about HR analytics, you told about artificial intelligence and use of bots in today's business
Yes.
activities of HR. My question is that artificial intelligence still tries to reduce the number of repetitive tasks in the organization. Do you
Correct.
think so that it will create the loss of jobs in future?
Okay. So, ma'am, let's understand. Let me go again. I would go 10 years behind when computers were not much in utilization, or 20 years behind. Okay. At that time, also when the computers were coming in, when internet was coming in, people thought that oh my God, jobs are going to go, and what will happen. But then slowly the industry embraced these changes, and newer jobs were, yes, certain mundane jobs were gone. Definitely, yes, but certain very new novel jobs were actually created. Nowadays also, when we see companies coming for placements, or when I see some job postings, there are a lot of interesting job opportunities with newer portfolios. Okay, so there are definitely options. Yes, the regular jobs will be definitely like the regular jobs of, if you say, the bookkeeping kind of a job, wherein there was a repetitive, as you rightly said, repetitive kind of a job. So those jobs definitely are at stake. But equally, you have some newer jobs, and more number of newer jobs with a better profile, with a better requirement there in the market. Okay, and I'm sure AI and analytics will not be see, let's be very fair that the machines are actually progressing at a very faster pace. Okay, and it is said that machines may replace humans. They have this kind of a notion. But do you think machines can let me ask you a question. Do you think machines can replace human intelligence, or the creative aspect of a human, or the emotional quotient of a human? It may. They say it may, but as of now, it is very difficult. It is very
Yeah,
difficult,
yeah,
right? So
yeah, ma'am.
definitely we have options. There are older jobs getting side out, but there are newer jobs with better qualification, with better perceptions. And I request all the students who are listening over here, please upskill yourself. The concept of upskilling and reskilling is very, very important, because if you are not doing that, I think it is very difficult for you to match up with the kind of progression that are happening in the industry. Okay. So yeah, I think I've answered your question now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, here we have one more question, ma'am, by
Yes, please.
one of our students.
Yeah,
What
ma'am.
are the qualifications does a person should possess to become business analyst?
Okay, I was expecting that question. Thank you so much for answering that question. I would like to share my screen. I have actually I was anticipating this question, ma'am. So I have a list of things which a person should possess in terms of being able to call yourself skill sets that are required for being there in this particular thing. One thing is, don't be scared of numbers. First of all, don't be scared of numbers. If you're scared of numbers, then I think this is not for you. Okay, because you will actually see dozens, not even dozens, you'll be millions and millions of numbers. Just imagine what is the population of the world. Okay, you'll have that many numbers to look at. So don't get scared with numbers, first thing. Second thing is, be more vigilant in terms of analyzing certain trends. So when I say trends, the pattern, the initial pattern of the data, okay, the basic skill required is little bit of the logical. If you have a little bit of logical brain, and if you add a bit of a technical skill to it, I think you are sorted. You don't have to worry at all. A bit of logic is required. I'm sure most of the students, they have this logical brain somewhere, not using it much. They don't use it much when it is required. But then if you're able to use a bit of a logic in your analysis, in your the way you look at the data, the way you interact with the data, so it is nothing but a kind of an interaction which you do with the data. Okay, so if you are able to do that, if you think that you can think logically, if you think that you are able to understand certain patterns, understand certain nuances of the data, I think this job is for you. And then definitely the technical skills can be taught. That's not a problem at all. So on a personal front, if you're having these kind of skills wherein you analyze the data, where you're able to see the trends visually, look at the trends, and most importantly, don't get scared by numbers. Okay, don't get scared by numbers. Huge Excel sheets of data are available, which you should not get scared of.
Thank you, ma'am. Chirantana, any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. I'm thinking
Yeah,
to
you can
pursue
ask.
in the business analytics. Yes, ma'am. Like I'm thinking to pursue business analytics after my MBA. So, like I've studied a few commerce and degree BBA. So nowhere I've studied the big data and related to science. So can I pursue business analytics having a commerce background?
Definitely you can. Why not? See, as I said, the skill sets remain the same. Okay. So technical skills can be taught. That's not a problem at all. Your logical skills is what is required. If you're able to see logic, if you're able to understand the logic, if you're able to arrive at certain logical decisions using, basic understanding of how the trends are, what is happening, and you're able to make a, collective informed decision. Okay, so look at yourself. For example, today if you are going to buy something online, okay, do you just like that go and buy? Tell me, do you buy just like that?
No,
You will do a little
no.
bit of
I
research.
visited all the websites like related.
Yeah, so you will see multiple websites, you will see
Yeah.
what is the pricing, you will see the quality, you will read the reviews. So you are taking an informed decision, you're not taking a blunt decision. Okay, so if you think you're doing that, you are fit enough to do this course. Definitely you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, one more thing. Like I've done my digital marketing course also. So
Okay.
will this add value for my BA?
Definitely it will add value to your analytics course, because if you're able to understand the digital marketing well, then you will understand how the data are coming in. You'll understand from where the data are coming in. So definitely it will definitely add value to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, and all the best for your analytics career ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions? Students, you have any other questions?
If nobody is having any question, if I think a lot of students are listening to this particular platform, my one humble request, please get yourself accustomed in Excel. Excel is the basic of any analytics. If you are good in Excel, you will brace through anything, guys. Okay, if you don't know Excel, please take a small course on Excel, learn Excel. That's one thing which I find people not being able to do that. Okay, in the industry, see, different companies follow different platforms for doing analytics. Okay, SAP have a different platform, Amazon have a different platform, Microsoft has a different platform, Google has a different platform. But the basis of all that is you being able to analyze the numbers. Okay, so get yourself trained in Excel first. If you are good in Excel, if you are able to do certain things, and when I say Excel, not like some random things in Excel. Okay, so you should be able to draw some analysis from the Excel data. Okay, now I don't know how many of you have tried this. You can go and try the Facebook analytics, gives you certain data which you can download in Excel. Okay, try to work on those data once. you will have an understanding of how the Excel data works. There are lot of tools available within Excel itself, which you should be aware of. So my simple and humble request is to all the students, please go back and read or rethink. If you know Excel, practice it well, because that is what is needed in the market. And whichever company you join, they will definitely train you on certain analytic skills. Okay, so basic requirement is your Excel skills. If you're able to do that well, then all this R, Python, SAS, all these things are very easy to learn. These are all code based. They are all technical skills which you can learn. Again, Excel is a very basic technical skill. So please make sure that you are well thorough and well aware of this Excel skills.
Yeah, ma'am. Tomorrow also we have a session on SPSS, no, ma'am? Hands-on. It's actually hands-on.
Tomorrow session is on SPSS. I will be talking about factor analysis. I'll be talking about cluster analysis, and we'll be doing a bit of modeling using regression. So I'm sure we will be able to do this because we have less amount of time, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, ma'am. Can we have correlation also, ma'am?
Yeah. So regression comes with correlation. So factor analysis, correlation, regression, and probably the clustering can be done.
Yeah, ma'am. The time duration
all will come together.
Okay, ma'am. The time remains the same, ma'am. On that day I spoke that there might be change in time, but yesterday, as per the information, ma'am, we will be having the session on the regular time itself. That is, we are going to start at 10:30 tomorrow. No change in time.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, ma'am. I hope we have come to the end of the session. If there are no queries, the session has been streamed in YouTube also, and we have around 150 to 160 participants in both Zoom and YouTube. All our student participants from our students and other participants from other institutes also. Let me thank our speaker. It gives me immense pleasure to thank Dr. Prabha Kiran for providing insight about the levels of analytics with current examples and analytics in our present life with lots of the day-to-day examples and use of data, application of it in different domains. So I hope it was very informative to all of us. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure interacting with students. Thank you all. I hope it was a helpful session because I know students are having a lot of queries in these areas. And so that's the only thing. Thank you all for inviting me over here. And all the best, everyone. Let's see tomorrow.
Yeah. Also would like to thank our HOD, faculty members, and student participants for your interest. And thanks Silicon City management team for their technical support. We hope to see you ahead in day 5 of the session, which highlights on hands-on SPSS. And a request, please provide your feedback using the link provided. It is available in the chat box. So please provide your feedback. And see you tomorrow at 10:30. Please do attend the session. Thank you all. Thank you for participating in the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ